All right, so let's make a formal introduction for our listeners. Good afternoon, Marika. My name is Claudio, and I'm calling you from Washington, D.C. From the studios in Fairfax City, we're very humble and grateful that Marika Takeuchi accepted our invitation to our show. Marika, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. So let's go back. Usually the first question I start with the pandemic. You know, in the last year has been very difficult. If
Yeah,
you are a touring musician, you cannot tour much, and you know, people that used to tour a lot, they didn't have any income. Many bands
right,
were dissolved.
right.
And some people that do a lot of composing at home and studio recording is great. But how the pandemic affected you, your sanity, your family life, and how you holding up?
Yes, it definitely had a big impact on me as well. But it was lucky because I wasn't touring actively. So my main work was to compose music from home.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, I released one EP, Missing Piece, and I did most of commercial writing actually to so not for myself, but I did music for web commercials or video games, like sort of more commercial side of composing was still going during the pandemic. So that was really helpful for me to keep being inspired during the pandemic.
Yeah. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Thank you.
Because many bands were many musicians I interview, they disappeared. They didn't have any
Yeah,
money
I
for 2 years,
know.
so they end up switching, going to school or
Yeah.
doing something else.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
hard.
very difficult. Were you born like in a musical family, or how were you when you began perhaps taking piano lesson? And
Right. So I was not born into a musical family at all. Actually, no one else plays music. And I started piano when I was 3 because my sister was doing it. So like my mom was like, oh, since your sister's doing it, you should do it. So like it was like, it was nothing serious, but I loved it so much. So I got into more serious practicing and everything. And I was doing like a lot of competitions and stuff as a kid, and mostly doing the classical music. But then I realized that I really want to make up my own songs. So I was already composing like small pieces of music when I was around 8 or 9. And yeah, I always knew that I wanted to write some new music. So that's how I got started.
did your sister become end up a musician as well, or no?
No, she's not a musician.
So she quit and you continued.
Exactly. Yeah, I stuck with it. And yeah, like most other kids, like piano is something for the activities for the childhood, and then they sort of grow out of it. Most of people, I think. So yeah, I just loved it so much. I kept doing it.
Good for you, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
music in classical music is very rigid. You need to play like that, right? And
Yeah.
so if you have ideas to do this or to do something different,
Yeah,
then you need to get out of classical music and do your own, right? Eventually,
exactly. Yes.
very restricted that playing musical music.
Yeah.
But you also play violin, guitar as well, so it was not just piano.
Yeah, that's right. Well, guitar is definitely not my strength at all. I can only play like maybe 2 or 3 songs actually, very slowly. But yes, violin, I really wanted to learn violin when I was a kid. So I remember begging my parents to get me um, violin lessons. So I did that for several years when I was a kid, and I stopped and I focused on piano. Then a few years ago, I started to pick up the violin again, and I started using the instrument, like the doing effects and stuff on my composition as well, which has been really fun.
Good for you, man. What kind of music, with the equivalent of high school, you were still living in Tokyo? What kind of
Yeah,
music were you listening at the time?
right. So high school, actually, I was really into electronic music and dance music.
Like what?
So
What names? You remember? Electronic?
Yeah, well, I was in at the time, trance was very big in Japan. So
Yeah.
I remember listening to System F, or do you know those names like System F or Ferry Corsten, or
Oh.
what's the other names? I can't really remember the names, but I
You
loved
know
that.
who Tangerine Dream is, for example, in Germany?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, definitely. I love the dance music and
Yeah.
electronic music. And that was like something completely new coming from like classical music. When
Yes,
I
of course.
first heard electronic music I was like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So it really had a big impact on me as well. And that's why now, like sometimes I combine electronic music and the classical music. For example, the piece Missing Piece
Yeah.
has a little bit of electronic
Yeah.
music to it. So yeah, that definitely had a nice, it was a nice exposure to have during high school.
Good for you. And you, before you came to United States, you end up, well, you study at the Shobi Music College in Tokyo, right? And then
Yeah.
you did some, you began composing for Universal at the time. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, to be accurate, I just composed one song for
Yeah.
Universal Music
Yeah.
Japan artist. So that was my only one songwriting career that I have. So I wrote J-pop for a singer
Yeah.
when I was really young. I think when was it? 19, 20? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my first big gig that
Yeah.
I had. Yes.
Did you play before you came to United States? You end up playing any gigs down there, or you
Yes.
were, yeah?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did gigs in Japan a lot. And then I also had a part-time job at a piano bar to
Wow.
play piano for customers. Yes, that was my first
That's
musical
your
job
first
life.
paycheck. Your first paycheck.
Yes. So like Piano Man by Billy Joel is like my life back then. I can totally relate to what he's singing about.
Mm.
So
Billy
yes,
Joel is unbelievable. Yeah.
I did that. Yeah, I did that for 4 years. So every night I went to two different piano bars and I played. Um, yeah, I played for hours. So, but I wasn't playing my own music. I mean, sometimes I would have, I did play my music too, but mostly customer requests something and I just play.
And you got paid like an hourly rate plus
Yeah,
tips?
hourly late. Yeah, hourly late. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a fun part-time job, really.
Yeah, you make some money. Still,
Yeah.
you were living at home, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was with my parents anyway, so it
Yeah.
was a really nice job. I liked it.
Yeah. I saw a picture of your mom and your grandma
Oh yes.
in the website. It's very nice picture. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, my
Uh,
grandmother passed away
yeah.
last
Yeah.
month. So yes,
It was difficult. Yeah.
yes, especially with the pandemic and the restrictions, so I couldn't even go to her funeral. So that was really hard.
Is it open now in
Uh,
Tokyo?
it, it's not fully open at all. Well, but since I'm Japanese citizen, I could technically go, but then there's the quarantine rule back then. I had
Yeah.
to quarantine, and then yeah, it just the time was so limited, and I couldn't. Yeah, just the time wise, it didn't really
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah,
waiting. I'm waiting until that's open up to go
yeah,
there. To go there to.
yeah. I know. I
Mm.
haven't been back to Japan for 3 years now.
That's a long time, man.
I know. So I have to go back later this year, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Good
Yeah.
for you, man. Yeah. I wanna go. I never been there. I have so many friends, people that I interview, and I'm gonna go and buy music. And
Yeah.
in the corner, I think at the station is the Shibuya.
Yeah.
There's so many record store there. I will go
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, I know. It's amazing.
So it would be good. So then you end up why you decided to you could have stayed in Tokyo, right? You were
Uh-huh.
single, living at home. You have
Right,
began your career.
right.
What what happened in your life? You decided, well, I want to get out of the house, apply to
Yeah,
some school, you get into
right.
Berkeley. What's the process?
That's right. My main reason was I really wanted to study film scoring, like writing music for films. And then, America is the best place to do. That's what I thought. And
Yeah.
I also wanted to sort of broaden my musical draws or musical inspirations. I said, oh, let's get out of Japan. And Berkeley is one of the most prestigious schools,
Yeah.
especially of course for performance and everything else as well, but their film scoring curriculum is really good. So I decided to apply to Berkeley so I can study how to write music specifically for pictures.
And it was difficult to get in, or
Well, yes
you need
and
to
no.
pass like an audition, right? Yeah.
Yes, we take auditions, but yes, it wasn't too difficult, but yes.
Well, probably. For me, it would be impossible.
Yes, it's a regular audition. Like you go into the audition place and then you perform a couple of songs, you do sight reading, you do like a rhythm test and stuff like that. But yes, it was much harder to finish the school than entering the school.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because of a lot of projects. And I remember the last semester of Berkeley, I just barely had any time to sleep.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was, man, United States and Japan are upside down, are very.
Yes.
So you need, where did you learn English in Tokyo or
Yes.
in the United States, or how you?
Yes. So before I applied to Berkeley, I started studying English. Well, I had English classes in school, like middle school and high school, but it wasn't that serious. And I wasn't really serious. So I wasn't really paying attention that much. So when I decided to go to school in US, I realized, okay, I really have to study seriously. So
Yeah.
I probably studied for 2 years before I moved. And then after I went to, so and then I moved to Boston few months before Berkeley started. And then I went to school, like English school, English as a second language school. And then I stayed with host family for 3 or 4 months. Yeah, so I guess I studied English both in Japan and the US. But when I first got into a college, it was like a totally different level. I was like, wow, I don't understand anything. So everybody speaks so fast. And, so I think I definitely learned a lot at Berkeley by just, taking classes,
Talking to
interacting
people,
with other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely Berkeley who taught me English
Yeah.
just by being there.
Because at Berkeley, there are days you can take some composition, film scoring, jazz. I mean, it's up to you what you want to study.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there's some common courses that everybody can
Yeah.
take, right?
Yeah.
But then you want to go into the jazz area, you want to go into film music, and yeah.
Yes, that's
A
right.
lot of famous people, you're one of them, have studied there.
Thank you.
At
That's
Berkeley, I have
right.
interviewed several. Yes.
Yeah, it's very inspiring place because, as you say, there's so many famous alumni and everybody's so talented. So you are encouraged to do your best. So it was wonderful to really spend time and study there.
Yeah. Juilliard is also in New York. It's a very good school. I don't know if you.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is very prestigious. Yes, but they don't have film scoring program, so that was the big difference.
Yeah. Any field at the time or now? Any person in particular? I mean, what kind of? I know you have done several soundtracks, but you like more like electronic, science fiction. If you have the opportunity to compose for any director? What do you?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't have anyone specific that I'm like, I want to work with this person, but yes, I really I like drama in terms of like I like drama and a little bit of like a psychological thriller and type of thing. But like in terms of music, I really like sort of hybrid score, which is like a little like acoustic music, but also has some electronic element to it. So
Yeah.
that would be that would be my goal to
You know
score.
who John Williams was and
Of course, yeah.
John Carpenter. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I like things. I like electronic music. I'm a fan of all the kind of science fiction, horror stuff because the music
Yeah.
is very, very powerful.
Yeah. That's right. Yes, I like horror music, but I don't like horror movies because I get terrified.
That's right. There are
So
many in Japan. They love horror
they
movies.
love it.
They're crazy in Japan. They
I
love
know.
all the best uh, music and science
Yeah,
fiction. Japanese people like that kind of stuff.
that's right.
That and dinosaurs or
That's right. So I was actually scoring a horror short film during pandemic
yeah.
when we were doing a lockdown. I'm the one who is writing music and then putting scary, creepy music. But then I realized at night I get like freaked out. So like
Cool.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't compose at night, so I have to do it in the morning.
Then
When
you can go to bed. Otherwise, your reality, mix up with the real world with your job, right? So
exactly. So yes.
at two different things. And so when you were Berkeley, were you most of the people that I interviewed from Berkeley, they work with some professor, they do some gigs in
Yeah.
Boston during the weekend to make a little bit of money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you end up doing stuff like that as well? Or?
When I was at Berkeley, I wasn't really doing gigs actually. I was only composing. Yes. Did I do gigs? Well, I must have done, but not
Cool.
actively, not like every week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Many of the professors there, I don't know if many of us, several, they are part of bands, so they always end up recruiting kids from the school.
Oh
Hey, I'm
yeah.
doing a gig at the jazz piano
Yeah.
restaurant, right?
Yeah.
You wanna make some money and I don't know, you make
Yeah.
$100 a night, whatever.
Yeah. They
Recording,
do
right?
that. Yeah. Especially on the performance department.
Yeah,
They do that. But film scoring was a lot more isolated department. So like we were like
yeah,
sort of the nerdy students who were just composing music. So me and my friends weren't necessarily doing a lot of gigs, but more like composing, and then we loved the recording. So what I did was in addition to the school project, I made my first album when I was still at Berkeley. So I composed music and then I called a lot of friends and then recorded at my friend's apartment. It's a really low budget project because I didn't have any budget, but everybody was willing to play for free. And then, I just
yeah.
buy donuts, it's just buy coffee and donuts in return, stuff like that. So it was
Coffee,
really,
beer, and beer maybe to wine.
yeah.
Which recording was that?
So that was my first album called Night Dream.
Yeah. I
That's what.
couldn't. I think when you did the album Step, you did you were in Japan at the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then so you end up releasing that. The album go somewhere, or it was receptive? You show with the professor. You played an array with any traction with that particular album, or?
Oh yeah, my first album. So I used CD Baby, and then I just self-published it, and I just put it on the online. And yeah, well, I think it didn't have any like a big reaction, but I definitely it got me started as an artist. And it was nice that I started very early when I was still in college. So when I finished college, I already had one album to bring with me. So that was really nice starting point.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
So you end up finishing Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
And then you say you have the decision, well, I stay in the United States or I go back to my own country, right?
That's right.
It was a decision in your head, or you knew that, man, I want to get out of Japan because they're very restricted. That is one way to do that, and I want to do other stuff. It was
Yes, yes, you're right. I wanted to stay in US because it's just so US is a great place to be, first of all, great place to be freelance, and then being an artist is very much acceptable. While in Japan, it's a little bit hard. And then, as you say, there are a lot of restrictions, a lot of how to say, it's just yeah, you need to belong to an organization to get gigs and stuff in Japan. So for my style, US was definitely much more, US would have given me more freedom to do what I want to do, which is like I want to be an artist, and then I want to also do writing music for like people, like commercials or short films or a lot of different things. So yes, I thought the US definitely has more opportunities for me because there are so many more creative people in the US, and also everybody's sort of trying to make great art here. So
and then your mom and your dad and your grandma was probably crying when you say, no, I want to stay here after graduation. I'm not
no,
coming
no,
back.
no,
No.
actually, they were very, very supportive to my decision. And then they
Okay.
said, oh, yeah, that's probably better for you. You can be more free there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were happy about my decision. And then I think they were also proud of me surviving in different country.
Yeah. Good for you. I always listened to the album last night. I think the piece is from the Arctic Light.
Yeah.
And man, and I know actually the photographer Sergey, because
Oh, you
I have
do?
interview. See, it's kind of, I'll tell you a story. When I began the radio, right,
Uh-huh.
I was calling different people that I knew from jazz, from rock, from Pat Metheny, from Pink Floyd, Depeche Mode, Pat Benatar, Blondie, all the big names. And I came across a couple of musicians from Norway.
Uh-huh.
And then, oh, if you like that, they told me, well, if you like the music, you should interview that person. I interview another, and
Right.
then another, and then another. And all of a sudden, I would begin asking myself, how in the world, why, I'm interviewing a lot of people from Norway, but not from Finland or Sweden.
Uh-huh.
And then they explained to me that in Norway, they have like arts,
Uh-huh.
music, photography is very important. So there are
Uh-huh.
many schools that are dedicated. You can go to technical school or you can go
Uh-huh.
to the musical school, and they're
Uh-huh.
very good. And so that's why in Norway, there are so many great musicians. I mean,
Right.
if you
Yes,
look
I
at my
agree.
interviews, I have
Yeah.
interviewed at least 25 or 30 people from Norway. I can recommend you
Oh,
many
that's
names.
wonderful. Yes,
There's a
please.
lot of very, 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 very good people, very good people.
Right.
And then so I came across Sergey, the name. I don't know him personally, but I'm not surprised because, as I said before, in my head I say, what's happening in the country? I
Right.
end up interviewing a lot of people from the country. They're all good, and
Yes.
they explained to me. So Sergey is very well known in the country, and many others. I mean, I as I say, by accident, I end up interviewing, I don't know, like 15 or 20 musicians from Norway, and they invite me. I'm going to, man, I need more time and money to do everything. I'm going to go to in October to a musical festival,
Oh, wonderful.
or
Great.
and I'm going to be meeting those people,
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So
That's wonderful. Actually, my longtime music partner who has been mixing my albums,
yeah,
he's from Norway as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So yes, I know Norwegian musicians are very talented.
yeah. And I sent last week another email to a couple, I forgot the name, the film composer, and then they know Sergey. So very likely I'm going to be seeing the possibility if he's still alive, interview him for the radio, because I like, yeah, I like music and photography and movies and stuff like that, all the whole range.
Oh,
So,
great, great.
so I
Yes.
will let you know. So, and I, of course I knew the name, and I didn't know that composer music at the time, because it's a like a famous film, the Arctic Eye, and
Yeah.
when I find out that was you, that was great, man. That's
Yeah, oh, that's great. Actually, the Arctic Light really sort of got me started as an artist, because I wasn't planning on becoming an artist actually. I wanted,
really,
yeah, I wanted to be just a full-time composer who sits behind the screen. But then when I wrote music for the Arctic Light, everybody asked me, where can I, where can we buy your album? Are you releasing any album? And then all of a sudden I became like sort of like artist without really intending
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I made an album and I released it. Everybody loved it. So, and then I'm like, oh, I never thought about this career, but it's great. So
Of course,
I'm
you got,
really thankful
yeah.
for him to
You,
hire me.
I look into you. I look into your website and Amazon and all the places that I buy music, and you have done, I don't know, like 20 or 30 things, and why there are no why you have not released them on CD, on vinyl?
Right, that's
Why
right.
that? You need, Marika, you need to do that.
Well,
I mean,
that's right. Well, it's a more like yeah, I know vinyl. I would love to do vinyl.
yeah,
I just haven't done them because it's just
it's very expensive, the process,
I
right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, for someone like me who is independent. I mean, I have a record label, but
yeah,
we are indie label, so we don't have a biggest budget. So,
yeah,
but I would love to do that. I'm planning on doing vinyl, definitely.
yeah. Well, you need to release your masterpiece, the
Yes,
missing piece.
that's right.
I
I
will be the
will.
first one to buy it, and
Oh, thank
buying
you.
several copies. So yeah, you
Right.
need you need to release stuff. I mean, there's many musicians, what they do is after I'm not telling you anything new, after the gig, right?
Uh-huh.
People want to take a photographer with them, and they buy
Yeah.
CDs, and they buy
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
T-shirt and albums. So it's a very good source of income to
Yeah.
do that. You can,
That's
whatever, if
right.
you get paid that X dollar for a show, you can make the
Yeah.
same amount
Yeah.
after the show by taking people like stupid people like me that want to collect
Yeah.
everything,
That's stupid.
or taking pictures with everybody from I don't know, everybody.
Yeah.
I want to,
Absolutely.
and I buy a lot of stuff. I buy a lot of music, so it's a very
Right.
good source of income for a musician to do that stuff.
Absolutely. That's right. You're absolutely
CDs,
right.
you can make CDs for like $1 with the arts.
Yeah. I
Then you
have
can sell it
CDs
for
though.
15, or
Right.
vinyl the same, or
Right.
T-shirt the same.
Right.
T-shirt costs $1, and people pay here in the United States, $20, $30, and
Yeah.
more.
Right. I do have CDs on my website.
All right, I will need to buy them, so you need
Oh,
to
great.
sign them.
Thank you.
I will
Thank you.
I will visit you when we are there with the family in Los Angeles. I will visit you.
Yes, please, please.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to happen.
Definitely. You're
And
always
so
welcome.
let's continue with. So that's I was playing the Norwegian thing. There are many
Yeah,
many many people, and
definitely.
it's for me it's very important.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
another question that I asked you before we started the view with it. How does it feel to be a composer in a male dominated field, if you will? It was harder because you were a woman, or you say, I don't care, I want to do my thing and I want to do it.
Well, It was hard to begin with, but now the last few years with all the movement and the gender equality thing, it's
Yeah,
definitely now is a good time to be a female composer because it's all the female empowering and
yeah,
inclusivity and everything. But I definitely had a lot of hard times a few years before those movements emerged, and then I was sometimes one time I was specifically told that some big record label can't work with me because I'm not a man and I'm not European man, because most of the pianists that we can think of, they're mostly men and mostly European, because Europe is where classical music came from. So I was told that I can't be successful because of who I am.
my God.
It was terrible. Yes, it was
What a
terrible.
stupid reason.
I know. But then that's how my album Melody was made, because I was very upset. I was very angry and I wanted to prove those people wrong. So that's how I made my album Melody, to really
Yeah,
prove that what I can do. So, I think there's always a way to turn those negative events into positive energy and then create beautiful art. So
yeah.
yeah, so in the end it was all okay because I made a good album. But yes, it was hard. I was always constantly had to prove that I can actually do things,
Yeah,
because not anymore. Again, now is a great time to be a woman, because we are more appreciated. There are a lot of recognitions towards women. And then now sometimes I get gigs because, oh, I want to work with female composers. So so now it's like the world is upside down now. Now
yeah.
I
It's
get
the other way around, right?
the
Yeah.
other way around. Now I get gigs
Uh,
because I'm a woman. But before it was really hard.
in Japan, in your culture, it's the same, right? They are male-dominated society,
It
and women
is.
look down in many ways. Right? That correct?
Yeah, it is correct. But somehow, in terms of composers, they have been hiring a lot of female composers since a long time ago. It's very interesting. The society itself is definitely still male dominated, but music industry, a lot of female composers are scoring a lot of big films or video games. So it's very interesting balance that we
Nowadays,
have. Yeah.
somehow, I have the opinion of the Japanese culture that are male-oriented, and the women stay at home raising
Yeah.
babies and
Yeah,
cooking,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they don't leave the kitchen, which is very stupid if you ask me.
Absolutely. Yes, they're always a little bit like 10 or 20 years behind the Western cultures.
Yeah, yeah. I was raised by 7 women in my life, so
Oh, wow.
four sisters, my mom, and then 2 ladies that were helping my mom at home. So they
Oh,
mold me
oh,
like a female. My
wonderful.
my mind is
Yeah, yeah,
female
yeah.
oriented.
Oh, that's wonderful.
On yeah, I see the injustice, or women getting paid not the
Yeah.
same, or companies or women need to raise a family, raise a kid, be a wife, and do everything, and
Yeah.
guys can have all the fun. So it's not good. So my mind
That's
is very
right.
female oriented. Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful of
they
you.
made my sister mold me early age in life. So
Yeah.
you need to do everything. It's every
Yeah,
when you get married or a partnership or whatever, everything is 50-50.
that's right.
There's no male or female roles. So
Yes.
that's what. And let's talk about a couple of tracks that, in a way, I would say, now that you mentioned that, I would say that your music for me is like, um, making music without compromise,
Uh-huh.
in a way that you easy for me to say, but when you left the classical music, right, and you wanna, well, I wanna compose different things, and I wanna, yeah, I know Chopin, I know Beethoven, I know this,
Right.
but I wanna do.
Right.
At the end of the day, you need to. Some people do it, some people don't, right? You need to make a decision, say, no, 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 this is my life. I want to do whatever I want. I want to go into
Yeah.
film composition, film scoring games, and making music without compromise. Don't compromise. You need to do at the end of the day
Yeah.
to be happy. You need to do what you like and then do the stuff.
Yeah.
Independent of being a wife or a mom or this, um, you have, as a human being, you have certain goals in your life, right? And you have inside your head a voice telling you, no, I
Right.
don't want to do the job. I like this stuff. I don't like that.
Right.
And you got to do your own, and which that's what you have done, which is amazing because some people don't.
Thank you. Right. Thank you so
No, I'm
much.
very serious, Marika. Some
Yeah.
people don't. Some people don't.
Right.
Some people complain about this environment, the
Right.
press, and this, and they end up getting old and then don't doing the stuff, right?
Right.
For me, I want to be one day 80 years old and look back at my life and said, man, I did everything that I want to do.
Right.
I
Yeah.
remember when I started the radio, right? Nobody was
Uh-huh.
replying email to me. And I said,
Right.
man, yeah, I have my own music. I will have the website and, um, and I will listen to my own music, but I will never do interviews. And
Right.
now looking back, I have interviewed people from Genesis, for
Right.
Toto, for Pink
Right.
Floyd, all the electronic music,
Right.
for radio station.
Mhm.
The radios are used by the company I work for, and
Right.
so I'm very happy that talking to you.
Yeah. That's amazing what you're doing. Yes.
Well, plus the other thing that I do is very different for kind of commercial physical radio that is 24-hour day. I
Uh-huh.
will never charge anything. I will
Uh-huh.
never have social media. I will
Right.
never have advertising. I'm
Right.
broadcasting 24-hour day,
Right.
better quality than Spotify.
Uh-huh.
So whether you're in Tokyo, you're in Brazil, you're in India, you can wake up and listen to jazz or rock.
Right.
And plus, I'm paying rights for the musician, and I
Right.
own all the music that I'm playing there. I bought the record, so I have all the right
Right.
to upload it and do it, use it, and it gave me a lot of satisfaction to stuff.
Yeah, that is amazing. Very inspiring.
Yeah, your stuff is inspiring. My stuff is
Thank you.
let's talk about missing piece. The
Yes.
3 songs. I listened to the album probably last night and this morning, and I don't know, like 30 or 40 times.
Oh, thank you so
It's
much.
very, very good stuff. Very good. And then I will send you the name from Lorenzo as well. Massotto is an Italian composer. You will like,
Yes, please. Yeah.
and it's very good. How the stuff came together? They hire
Oh,
you to do that, or how you? Is it people hire you to do a particular thing, or you are the other way around? I
no.
want to compose what I like and then see if
Right.
I can find an outlet where I can put my music out there.
That's right. Well, I do both ways. So
Yep.
when I release my album, so
Right.
EP, including Missing Piece, that's my original thing. So I come up with the idea, I do things, everything, based on what I want. Then when I work for someone else,
Yep.
they have, the preference, they have direction, then I just follow and then I offer what I can do. So for Missing Piece, it was completely my original stuff. No one asked me to write that. It was just right after I moved to LA, I think, because I moved LA in 2019. I was still in Boston. I lived in Boston for 10 years. And I moved to LA, and it was like sort of like a new chapter of my life. And I was writing. First, I came up with the piano part, and then I was recording, and I got a new piano. So in my LA home studio, I got new piano.
Yep.
And I was playing around. That's how usually I come up with music. I play around and then find a good piano phrase and then sort of expand. And I really wanted to sort of write a music about the missing piece in our lives, which is like a missing piece to complete your life, and also the parts that are still missing, like sort of double meaning of the piece is that, we're always looking for something that's missing in our lives, and then we find those, missing pieces, and then, we should treasure what we have with what we find. Yeah, and yeah, piano part was the first thing, and then I put that in the computer and I came up with the violin melody, and I asked my friend to play violin, and yeah, that's how. And then the drum, and then I thought, oh, I really want to make this some sort of dramatic, so let's add drums, and that's how it expanded. Yes.
It's unbelievable, man.
Thank you.
Very,
Thank you
very
so
good.
much.
And why only 3 tracks? I mean, you thought at the time you will do 2 and they will become an album, or you thought there's going to be only 3?
Yeah, I sort of knew that was only 3 pieces already, I think. Yeah, it was sort of like around that time. That was like a missing piece, and then another piece in that EP called Fast Light was something I came up with after my weekend trip to a different part of California. So it was sort of like a small mini diary around that time, like what I was feeling that time. And then I felt like I want to release it soon rather than spending like a lot of time, long time to complete full album. So it was very important to release that in 2020 when we were doing lockdown. So yes, that's why I decided to go for just the EP instead of the full album.
And then what would be the reaction in the media or social network or people that buy music for you?
Yeah, it has
Was
been
well received, right?
Yes, it has been also sort of yeah, it took a little bit long time actually for Missing Piece to be recognized, I think. But now Missing Piece is the most popular piece on the Spotify, and then started being included in the playlists. So I think now it's definitely having like a long time popularity, which is really good thing. So yeah, definitely have positive feedbacks.
Yeah, you make a little bit of money with every hit, but it takes thousands to make $100
That's right.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's really, I'm feeling a lot these days about this business. It's like more like planting seeds. Like we plant seeds and then maybe it might not bloom right away, but then a few years later, it's like still there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's really,
yeah, but the artist should be paid a lot more, if you ask me. If I was younger and thought about that 10 years ago, I would have done equivalent Spotify build, but it would have been more fair for musicians, like Bandcamp, right? Where Bandcamp, you put a record and you get paid 90 cents of a dollar, right? They only take 10%, right?
Right.
As opposed to Spotify, where they get paid 1 divided by 300, so it's 0.0033 times the number of hits that you have per listen, so 3 months, and so very unfair.
But like Spotify is a still great place for musicians to be discovered.
That's exactly what I use it, right?
Yeah,
so for me it's great because I find you there, and I find the next.
Yeah, so as much as I totally agree with you about the payment being too little for musicians, still I can't thank Spotify enough for bringing me a lot of people to discover my music.
Yeah. Any particular, going back to film composer, any particular film director that you would like to work with, or is it good for you when some buyer hire you to do a piece? And see, in film composing, and correct me if I'm wrong, music is the last thing that is done, right?
Yeah.
So by the end, I don't know, 80% of the movie already was shot, directed, fixed, blah, 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 right? And then they hired somebody to put the music as opposed to going along the way, right? So you like that kind of stuff? You like composing with somebody without knowing anything about the music, or you would prefer somebody give you like a transcript of the movie? It's going to be a horror
Oh yeah,
movie.
yeah.
What
Yeah,
what
yeah,
what do you prefer?
usually when I work with film directors, they usually send me like scripts and then like like a regular update about what they are shooting, and
Yeah,
most of the time, like they give me enough information for me to feel more involved, even though I'm not really doing anything at the beginning.
yeah,
Um, so I like that kind of process, but sometimes obviously like you know, sometimes the project comes much later on to me and they said, oh, we had a composer, but he had to step down. So can you replace him? In that case, I'm like just only getting small information and then still have to work. But I always prefer like being involved kind of early on. So right now I just finished scoring music for video game, which is going to come out in a couple months.
yeah,
That process was really great because the video game maker sent me the idea before he started making video games. So it was like 5 years ago. So I sort of got to see every steps of his
yeah,
development. So I really felt like I'm fully part of the project.
yeah,
So it was a wonderful process to work with. So I always prefer that.
yeah, yeah. I got you. And then you guys get paid like a fixed amount or a
Yeah.
percentage of? Okay, so independent of whether the film does great or terrible, or the game does, you
Yeah.
get paid like a flat fee or whatever. Okay,
Yeah. I'm sure there are different arrangements to
yeah.
different.
Some people do like a base. Yeah, base.
Yeah, that's right. So far, I just get fixed fee for
Yeah,
composition.
yeah.
Yes.
Any particular director that you wish you could work with, or
No, I
no?
would love to work with anyone who can share the same passion,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
as long as the film is inspiring, I'm so happy to work with everyone.
yeah, yeah. I like soundtrack. I have a not in this floor, but upstairs in the other floors. I don't know. I have like I don't know, like 300 CDs or 200,
Oh, wonderful.
2,300 vinyl. I remember of
Right.
film score because I like this. I like, as I said before, I like a wide range, but your stuff is missing. So that's the next question. So, and do you plan on, as we said before, on releasing perhaps some stuff on vinyl, some stuff on CD, and
Yeah.
you are thinking about, yeah,
I would like to try vinyl. CD, I have done CDs. So
yeah,
vinyl is something I'm interested in. And I see like some people doing cassette tapes these days.
yeah, it's coming
So
back, believe it or not.
I'm definitely interested in those like classic things as well.
Yeah, you need to look into that. Hey, perhaps we create like a partnership, a company.
Yeah, please. Yes,
No,
that would be
I'm
great.
very serious. I'm looking for I reach out to different record label. I want to get a percentage of them. I'm always
Oh,
yeah, because and then I'm in the process. Perhaps this thing work out buying one of the biggest music store here in Virginia, and it's huge.
great.
Then perhaps get a club after that, and so
Oh,
hopefully
wonderful.
between now and the end of the year will work out. I'm working
Oh,
out the numbers yet. So
exciting.
yeah, so yeah, keep me posted with the if you're
Sure.
interested in doing the record label
Yes,
and stuff
yes,
like that,
yes.
because
Absolutely.
I would like
Yes.
to do something like that. Go with
Yeah.
a company, that person, like you already have. You have that. What's the MRG record? That's yours, right? Or
No, that is not of mine. That was my first record label that I
the
worked
record?
with in
Yeah,
America. And then right now I'm with Bigo and Twiggy in England.
yeah. I know. I don't. Yeah, I don't recognize the name at all. I need to check them out. Right.
Yes, they're very good. They're
Yeah.
indie labels, and then it's really I think all the musicians are very talented and all like a beautiful piano ambient type of
Yeah,
music.
I will need to check them out. I will need to
Yes,
check them.
please. Yes.
I don't know them. And so after and so what if you look back in your life, right? What music means to you, and then what inspired you to write music? Because you think you're very talented. You
Thank you.
have the opportunity to go into more classical film score. What
Yeah.
What music in general means to you? What music means to you?
That's right. So yes, going back. So when I was I was teenagers around high school. I um I suffered from like a really severe depression.
Really?
And yes, I was depressed and I was suicidal, and it was really dark point of my life. And then I sort of lost motivation to do basically anything. So like I said, oh, I'm gonna quit classical piano, and I don't know what I want to do in my life. And but then I was still playing piano, not the classical music, but I would just play random music that I hear from film or commercial or anything, or I would make up songs. And then at one point, a piano was the only friend for me. Like sort of, I couldn't really communicate with like friends, or I didn't fit in school, stuff like that. So I spent so much time all by myself, either playing piano or watching movies. So those two things really helped me go through those difficult times. And that's how I sort of overcame my depression, through playing music, watching films, or yeah. So that's how I decided to become composer, because I didn't know what else to do. So basically it was like a really happy story that, oh, I want to be composer, but more like, oh, I'm so depressed, I don't know what else to do. So let's
Yeah,
just keep composing.
that is it. I heard so many cases. I don't know if it's still the case, but it's kind of, I don't know, common is the correct word, but a good, very kind of trendy kids in Japan and then killing themselves, or
I know,
it's
it's
very
really
sad. I mean,
sad.
I don't know exactly if it's a
Uh,
competition or what it is, but
yeah, well,
what do you think? What now that
yes,
you are American, now that you live here now, you
yeah,
know,
I
most of your
know,
life
yes.
after you left Japan, what do you think is happening in the society? Why?
Well, yes, I know, because I have been thinking about it a lot. But the Japanese society, I love Japan, first of all. I love Japan. I'm so proud of being Japanese and being raised and born there. But Japanese society could be a little bit stressful for a lot of people, because the society is really discouraging anyone from being different from other people. So you have to be same as other people. You have to do what everybody else is doing. If you're a little bit different, you're wrong. So I was quite different from other kids. Always I was like, well, I guess I was really good at the music, but not necessarily good at different things, for example. So like I
Science or technology or
yeah. I wasn't the brightest kid, but obviously I was really good musician. Um, but yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, the Japanese society or like education could be really stressful and really limiting kids' ability to grow in different ways than what they want kids to be. So I definitely suffered from that. And yeah, I guess because I think about it, why I went that far to be so depressed. And there are many reasons, but I think mostly, yes, definitely the society wasn't encouraging people to invent something or do something different, which
Mm.
is the United States is very good at.
Yeah,
Like it's very encouraging to, yeah, let's create something new, do something
yeah,
new. So
yeah. You
which I love.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was in high school when I was born in Chile and I came to the United States to study. I was a rebel and I was man, my parents were so happy that I finished high school. Never mind going to college. Never mind going to college because they thought, man, I wouldn't know. I was when I was 17, 18. I was I don't know, chasing girls and drinking beer, and I wanted to see concerts, see music because
Right,
music was very important.
right.
At the time in Latin America, bands were not going there, So I was going crazy because I would see magazine before the internet about
Right.
this band, that band. I said,
Right.
man, I need to make it to the United States because that's what all the music is. And
Yeah.
I was a very bad student, so my parents wouldn't help me because they say, you know, what made you feel that would help you if you are a poor student here, you don't speak
Right.
the language. What made you feel that you will never? Well, you know, 30 years later, I have several college degrees.
Yeah.
I went to the you know the best school in the country. I went to Harvard. I have 2 master's degree. I have became
Amazing.
a teaching professor. Well,
Amazing.
seeing over 1,000 shows, and I own
Right.
a couple of businesses. So I
Right.
have done very well with my life. And I was a stupid kid at 17 that wanted to listen to rock and roll stuff. You know, so
Right.
I know exactly what you mean. The album also melding is very different from the other one.
Yes.
What? Feel free to elaborate on that album, how they came together, and then and
Yes.
you know it was
Yeah,
kind of very different from all the other stuff you have done, in my
it
opinion.
is. Yes. So that album was, as we were talking about it earlier,
Yeah.
I had a difficult time sort of breaking through. Like after Colors in the Diary, which was my third album, I wanted to obviously progress my career, and I was thinking like, oh, I want to do something, you know, something a little bit more than what I have done before. And then I was then at the time I was told that I cannot be successful because of who I am, you know, because I'm not man, and you know, I'm not European, blah blah blah, all the things that, you know, I mean, no one can say something like that anymore, but it was normal before all these inclusivity emerged last couple of years.
Yeah.
So when I was told you know, that I can be doing what I'm doing because of who I am, I decided, okay, it felt like sort of like I need to prove the world wrong. So I was like, I want to do something sort of rebellious, not rebellious, but it was sort of like that album was sort of really driven by sort of like rage in a good way. I'm not like really, I wasn't really angry, but I was like, okay, I'm going to prove them wrong. So I wanted to do something very different, because I was also told that, oh, your music is beautiful but boring. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something that's not boring. And then I started to, teaching myself a lot of like new techniques, or like, you know, just I tried to be as creative as possible to try something new. And it was so much fun. And then so the beginning, I was kind of, you know, probably a little bit angry, and I wanted to, you know, prove them wrong and blah, blah, blah. But then as I tried different things, I got so much fun. And then, like, I was like, oh, I'm having fun. So let's just keep doing it. So that's how the entire album was made. So that's why it's very different, because I wanted to make it different so I can show the world a different side of my music.
Yeah. No boring, no.
Yeah.
What a just. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, that's the worst thing that somebody can say. That's the worst thing somebody can say to me, is that you will not make it, or this or that.
Yeah.
I will work harder like a Japanese person. I will make it happen. There's no question about it. Yeah. At the beginning, in my music, when I put the radio together, nobody was replying. Saying, man, what I'm doing wrong, and you know. And then I begin making changes. I got some breaks along the way, and now it's a lot easier to contact musicians.
That's
And
amazing.
but
Really
I earn it. You know, I went little by
yes,
little,
you
step by
did.
step.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when people say, "Hey, this radio, nobody going to listen," well, now,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I did it. So you need to, you know, you need to swim against the current. You know, I don't care what
Absolutely.
everybody else said.
Yes, absolutely.
So you told me that you're working a new album right now. You say
Yes,
that's
I
going to be
am.
released during the summer or at the end of the year?
Yeah, probably more like towards the end of the year. But yes, I am Yes, I am writing new album right now.
Yeah, and of course, you having the baby during summer, so you know
That's right.
slow down, and then
Yeah.
any gigs coming up after that, perhaps late this year or next year, or
Yeah, maybe yeah, probably next year. Yes.
yeah. You don't have any live recordings, do you? No, none of the stuff have been
Live
live,
recording?
recorded live in a gig.
Oh yeah, yes. Live recording on some on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
need to check it out then. But
Yeah.
no real
Not a
thing,
lot.
no real CDs or yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like a recording of, I haven't released it officially. The the
Well, let
recording.
me know when you do, because I like for me, I need to touch things.
Okay, I will.
Look, you can read a book, but in PDF format,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you can have the real book, and I
Yeah. Oh,
like to
me
keep
too.
stuff open and
Me
up and
too.
look at the picture of the CD or the vinyl.
Yeah. Yes,
It's
me
a
too.
different feeling that than to do with a PDF or music review. And
Yeah.
what do you do for fun? No music related? That
I like hiking.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
so
are in the perfect place in California.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I after I moved to LA, I hike a lot. What else? Yeah, I like hiking. I like watching movies.
Yeah.
I like to read. I started growing some vegetables in the
At
garden.
home, you have like a big garden, or yeah.
No, well, not big, but a good size. So like during pandemic, I started growing vegetables, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. It's like really inspiring.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sometimes like, oh, it's not growing at all, and then the next day it's like blooming. So like I like it, like how resilient the plants are, and yeah. So that's like my new hobby.
Yeah. Well, now you're in California. You will need to learn Spanish, I think.
Yes, that's right. Well, I know,
Everybody speaks Spanish.
I know onaka suita.
Okay.
That means I'm hungry in Japanese, but
Yeah.
then small house in Spanish, right?
That's right. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend in college told me.
Yeah. Your husband is from Japan? No, he's not. He's an American guy, right? So
I'm sorry?
your husband is from Japan? No, or from
Oh,
America? No.
he's from England.
Born?
England.
England, from the UK. I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Man,
doesn't.
I go to that country very often, so it's a great London, at least London, and I go like 4 or 5 times a year. So just
Oh, wow, wonderful. Great place for music, right?
oh man, many. I
Oh,
was
I mean,
there. um, I was there about 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago. I went to see at the Royal Albert Hall to see Eric
oh,
Clapton,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
Joe Bonamassa, and before I was in in March, April to see Genesis
Oh, great.
when they finished their career.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So yeah, I go there. I love it's
Yeah,
very expensive, London, man, but I like it.
I know. Me too. I love London so much.
Yeah, it's very good place. And then so the last question is feel free to mention your website where our listener can buy your music, that kind of stuff.
Yes. My website is, should I say the URL that
Yeah,
you
you can say the URL, and I will post it
okay.
on the link to the radio as well. So
Okay, so it's www dot, let me just double check. Oh, marika-takeuchi.com.
yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And then I'm on Instagram, Facebook, what else? Not so much Twitter, but yes, those two, mostly Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram, right? People, yeah. It
Yes.
was man, I'm getting a cough. And it was very nice talking to you, Marika. Good
You
luck to
too.
you. And
Thank you so
I will
much.
send you an email in a couple of minutes once I upload this
Yeah,
interview. And I definitely want to get your music, and I want to
yes.
see you,
Oh,
for a cup of coffee
please.
when I'm in
Yes,
Los
let me
Angeles in a couple of
know.
weeks. And
Absolutely, yes.
I
Let
will
me
send
know
you a
when
link
you're
for
here. Yes,
other musicians and some of the people that I could recommend as
please,
well.
yes, definitely. Well, thank you
It's
so
very
much
good
for
luck with the
having me.
baby. Good luck with everything. We'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Take it easy. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.